If you've ever known a man was emotionally unavailable or inconsistent, and yet you still felt immensely attached to him, the issue usually isn't a lack of logic. It's that emotional inconsistency creates a very powerful psychological and nervous system response that feels a lot like addiction. Consistency creates safety. Inconsistency creates obsession. When people are emotionally stable and consistent, they create the same thing within themselves and with other people. They're predictable. You know what they're doing. You know where they're coming and going most of the time. You know how they're going to react, what they're going to do. Most of the time, they're communicating these things, so you never really have to guess. The difference is when someone is emotionally inconsistent, you're always guessing. We're always guessing, trying to figure out, what is this person thinking? What are they feeling? When are they going to say something? When are they going to come around? Are they going to come around? There's this emotional teeter-tottering that usually happens within us mentally too when we're dealing with people who are emotionally inconsistent. These are the type of people who create emotional and mental uncertainty. And uncertainty is what keeps our nervous systems hyper focused. It's almost like playing a video game. That's the example that's coming to my mind. We're always trying to solve the riddle, find the answer to the mystery. So when someone is inconsistent, meaning they're hot and cold, they're available one moment and then distant the next, our brains start seeking relief and reassurance, and that cycle can become incredibly emotionally consuming. Intermittent reinforcement creates emotional addiction. Intermittent reinforcement means you never fully know when affection or availability or affirmation in a relationship dynamic is going to come. And so it's almost like it comes in waves, and you're just trying to wait for the next wave to come so you can jump on and latch on. And it's this unpredictability that creates an even stronger emotional attachment because our nervous systems are locked into anticipation. It's the game of anticipation. So, for instance, when we're thinking about communication and it's delayed text messaging, so you send something and then you're waiting to get a response and it's not within the typical time frame. And it's like, okay, well, what is this person doing? We were just in the middle of a conversation and they just drop off for hours and you're left waiting, hanging in the balance. That is a prime example of intermittent reinforcement. You're talking and then you're not. And then the moment that that person comes back in, now we're hooked because now we've gotten what the nervous system was looking for the entire time, which was relief and reassurance. And oh, I can move on to the next thing now because this person has come back in. And the same thing is said of the opposite. So when there's emotional connection or emotional proximity and affection after a period of distance, it's like we crave what we feel deprived of. If someone has been away and now they're back, we want to latch on even more. Whenever there is relief after a period of unpredictability or stress or worry or confusion, we tend to rest even more in the feelings of gratification that that can bring. But it's ultimately just a loop. Most of the time, dealing with inconsistent people, they're here, then they're there. They're in, and then they're out. And it's a cycle. Our nervous systems often mistake emotional intensity for emotional connection. So many of us don't realize that we've been conditioned to associate anxiety, longing, yearning, and emotional highs and lows with love. We think that's just how it is. That's just how relationships are. Oftentimes, because of how we've been programmed, what we've watched on television, what we've heard in songs, what we grew up seeing in our households as children between our parents or whatever family members were present. So when a relationship feels emotionally activating, which I talked about emotional activation in my previous video. If you have not seen that, check for it up here in the card somewhere. But when a relationship feels emotionally activating, it can feel that much more powerful, even if it's unhealthy. I also mentioned how healthy love usually feels more calm. It's not necessarily boring, it's just regulated. So you'll know you're in healthy love when you're not at extreme highs and you're about to touch the sun, only to come crashing down to devastating lows where you feel like the world is over because something catastrophic has happened, not once, but maybe twice or maybe three times in your relationship. Emotionally healthy relationships usually don't keep your nervous system in survival mode. This came to me as far as survival mode, emotionally being a microcosm of the macro experience we have externally with men. If you are dealing with someone who keeps you emotionally in fight or flight, that is often a telltale sign. They are going to do the same thing from a materialistic or external perspective. So if they leave you on a cliffhanger here, guess what? They'll leave you on a cliffhanger here when they're supposed to come through for you when it regards acts of service. They may not show up. So you're left hanging, dangling in the air. Where are they at? They're inconsistent. It starts emotionally in here, and our nervous systems are the litmus tests. I also mentioned how chaos and inconsistency, if it was something that we became familiar with earlier in our lives during childhood, then initially calmness and emotional stability can feel unfamiliar or uninviting. But as I stated, and I'm going to say it again, emotional patterns can absolutely be rewired. This is exactly the type of relationship conditioning and emotional rewiring work I help women unpack inside my programs and coaching. If that's something you're interested in, the link to learn more information and to sign up is in the description box beneath this video. Let me know how what I've said has hit for you in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts and get your perspectives. And when you're done with that, be sure to check out this next video right here. I'll see you in the next one.